Before we begin, I have an important announcement to make. Starting this year, both the O'Reilly Series and Cup Series races will be consolidated in the same video, and the reason why I'm doing this is to reduce the workload. Yeah, I want to reduce the workload and reduce the amount of videos I have to do for my upload schedule. However, IndyCar and Formula 1 race reviews will still be separate from each other. And the Indianapolis 500 will always be part of the Triple Crown Review Spectacular. So yeah, the reason why I'm doing this video in my bedroom instead of down in the basement is because right now it is snowing like crazy in my area, and it's gonna be freezing cold in the basement. Yeah, I don't want to suffer hypothermia while I do my race reviews, but anyways, on to the video. Greetings, endurance race enjoyers, and here we go. It's time for another super long endurance race, and it's the big one. The 2026 24 Hours of Daytona, and yeah, that was chosen as the yearly endurance race review. So far, Porsche Penske is leading 1-2. Ironically enough, they won last year's race. Aitken gets a drive-through penalty. Oh, and I also forgot to mention, there was a huge wreck in the first lap of the race. Which is crazy, like, a huge freaking wreck happened in the first lap of the race, and the race has barely even begun. Don't you hate it when that happens? Anyways. Yeah, not a good sign when the race is 24 hours long. 2 Ferraris are also leading the GTD field. Lap traffic starts becoming a factor for the GTP field. That's the hypercar field, by the way. But still, nothing can stop the dynamic duo of Estre and Nasr. That's Felipe Nasr, by the way. Not even lap traffic. Nasr also has a liftoff. Estre and Nasr both make their pit stops. Van der Zand and Van Voor, that's one of the Van Voor brothers, by the way, are the next 2 GTP drivers to come down to pit road. Rivera's Ferrari almost caught fire! More GTD drivers pit in, and a Lambo driver also gets penalized for speeding. Seriously, like, I know that speeding on pit road probably saves you enough time in the pits, but there's a reason why pit road speed limits are enforced. So, you shouldn't race on pit road and treat pit road as a speedway. Treat it as, like, a way that other racers can get an advantage over you when they take the undercut. Even more drivers get penalties thrown at them. Dang, not looking good for the Ferraris and Lambos. Franco gets a penalty, but the good news is that Milroy gets his penalty rescinded. Yes! Now that is a good thing, man. Anyone who gets a penalty rescinded is awesome. Aitken gets into the grass. Ah, crap. So far, not much is going on aside from Porsche's reign of terror continuing throughout the race. Hyatt, who is also the leading driver in LMP2, makes his pit stop. Blomqvist and Van der Zand battle for 4th. We get our first driver changes into the race with 22 hours left on the clock, and Habel spins out into the grass and loses control. Here we go. The 2 Porsche Penskes battle for the lead. Keating also lost control. Both drivers were able to rejoin the track safely. Both Porsche Penske drivers decide to make another pit stop alongside the number 60 Meyer-Shank Acura GTP. And Rise Competizione has issues with their Ferrari, and the tire just went off of it. Because of debris, we get a full course yellow. Yeah, another full course yellow. AJ Allmendinger also got a seat in the number 60 Meyer-Shank Racing GTP. Yeah, like, you'd think he would get a seat with Wayne Taylor Racing, right? I mean, he's racing with Colleague Racing in the Cup Series, and Cadillac is owned by General Motors, as is Chevrolet, but nope, he gets a seat by Meyer-Shank Racing, and apparently has some relationship with one of the team owners, from what I've heard, but still, strange seeing AJ Allmendinger not in the seat of a Cadillac. Hard to believe, isn't it? A few cars were also noted for pitting when pit road is closed. Several drivers pit in during the full course yellow. The number 6 Porsche Penske has issues, meaning that Porsche Penske no longer has that 1-2 lead. The number 16 Ford Mustang also has a Greg Biffle number 16. An awesome tribute to Greg Biffle, if you ask me. For those of you who don't know, Greg Biffle was killed in a horrific plane crash. So lots of people in the motorsport world start honoring his legacy, and it's pretty sad news for a lot of us. If you haven't seen it, yeah, go check it out. It was sad that Greg Biffle, a great race car driver in NASCAR, bit the dust. And it's sad to see an iconic NASCAR racer from the 2000s end up in a horrific tragedy like this. But anyways, the race gets back to green and the number 7 Porsche Penske continues to lead. Palou and Ricky Taylor battle for second. Yep, Palou is in the number 93 Meyershank Racing GTP. Yeah, I always thought he was going to share a seat with Scott Dixon. I mean, they're both IndyCar drivers. They're both in IndyCar. But no, Palou has the number 93 Meyershank Acura seat, whereas Scott Dixon has the number 60. Yeah, it is hard to believe, isn't it? The number 04 CrowdStrike LMP2 spins out. Palou just got second, yeah. I was amazed that Palou was still able to be good in a freaking LM hypercar. Not even Connor Zillisch would do that good in Le Mans hypercars. But Alex Palou, when you put him inside, yeah, he's suddenly like the Doomslayer. Like the other drivers in the number 93 Acura GTP, they're not nearly as good as Palou. Yeah, the other drivers are pretty mediocre compared to Palou. Like, Palou is pretty much like the Doomslayer compared to them. It's pretty much like having a team and having the Doomslayer himself on it, and all the other guys are pretty much mediocre at best. So yeah, that's what it feels like. That's what the number 93 Meyershank Acura GTP feels like. Feels like a band of mediocre players with the Doomslayer as the captain. But the number 123 Porsche 911 starts smoking. Yeah, 911. I wanted to pronounce it like 911 instead of 911 because you know what. Thankfully, no cautions thrown. Graham Doyle went into the grass while a BMW driver and the 2 Corvettes battled for position. The 2 leading GTP drivers get stuck in lap traffic yet again. Another huge wreck just occurred and Adam Adelson is one of the drivers get involved in it. Man, the 24 Hours of Daytona is not safe from big ones. Because of this, another full course yellow had to be thrown. Several drivers come down to pit road yet again. Andlauer is no longer in the lead due to the pit cycles. The race restarts with Bamber and Palou battling for the lead. Another LMP2 loses control and gets involved in another incident. Intersport Racing gets a penalty handed to them for too many men over the wall at pit road. The Pfaff Motorsports Huracan and Rexy battle for position. Rexy is the green Porsche 911. Rexy nearly made a pit stop with 20 hours, 19 minutes, and 43 seconds left on the clock. Bamber continues to lead. Alex Palou comes down to pit road and Andlauer is now leading. He is now neck and neck with Earl Bamber when they both get caught up in lap traffic. Bamber's lead gap continues to increase. Caldarelli and Garcia battle for the GTD Pro lead. Come on, Caldarelli, get past him! Do it for Canada! Bamber makes his pit stop and Zillisch takes over. There he is, Connor Zillisch! He is currently in third. So far, not much is going on, aside from a Mustang GTD hood cam. Oh no, one of the Aston Martin Valkyrie stalled on the track! Thankfully, he was able to get the car refired and was able to rejoin the track safely. Oh no, the Valkyrie stopped again! Thankfully, it was able to come down to pit road safely. Yeah, he was able to rejoin the track safely and able to come down to pit road safely when the Valkyrie kept stalling. Oh, come on, the Valkyrie keeps stalling! And this is really bad considering that the Aston Martin Valkyrie is probably the coolest car in the LMDH field in IMSA. Well, it's a Le Mans hypercar spec car, but it's probably built for LMDH regulations. Yeah, they're both basically the same regulations. And LMDH cars are seen racing in Le Mans and have the same rule set. There's no difference between LMH and LMDH aside from one D in the name. Yeah, Ferrari should definitely get one of their hypercars in IMSA. I mean, Risi Competizione. If you're watching this, please get a Ferrari 499P and get it in IMSA. Get it homologated for IMSA. So we can have one of the incredible Ferraris in IMSA. Rast and Zillisch battle for second. With 19 hours, 11 minutes, and 30 seconds left on the clock, Porsche Penske continues to lead as they got the lead back after a pit stop. Zillisch comes down to pit road. Oh no, Matteo Carlaroli went into the grass and stalled! And the race gets yellow flagged again. Several drivers come down to pit road during yellow, but anyways. The race gets back to green and Porsche is back to leading to the race. And Hardwick gets penalized. Holy crapper! Hart gets past Piccarelli when he appeared out of nowhere. Looks like Rexy isn't the apex predator after all. Amazingly, Porsche Penske is not leading the race right now. The two Porsches battle for the lead, and just like that, Porsche Penske is back in the lead after passing the one privateer effort. Vanderheim comes down to pit road, and Yoli is in second. Not much is going on at the moment. Our next pit road cycle begins, and the number 7 Porsche Penske begins its driver switch. Nasr is now behind the wheel of the Penske Porsche 963 itself. Yoli is now leading the race with 17 hours, 12 minutes, and 31 seconds left on the clock. A haze starts to appear, which means it might get foggy and rainy. Holy crapper! Nasr just got past Yoli for the overall lead, and look who showed up! Yep, it's the number 6 Porsche Penske. Yeah, they just went back in second after that issue that they fixed, which means Porsche Penske is back leading the race, 1-2. That's where Porsche Penske belongs, 1-2. A lot of fog starts to appear, and visibility might get poor as the race goes on. One of the many Orica teams got penalized for detached equipment. Palou is inferred, but the two Porsche Penskes are still the dominant force. Palou and Jay Taylor make their pit stops. Campbell is next to come down to pit road. Another tire comes loose, and it's from the number 93 Acura. Dang it! Bamber and Heinrich are next to make their pit stops. Because it's a 24-hour long race, I didn't want to see all of it, so let's head over with 4 hours and 4 minutes left on the clock. Jay Taylor and Vesti battle for fourth, and after drafting ahead of him, Vesti managed to get past Jay Taylor. Whitman is currently leading, but he might lose that lead to Nasr soon. Oh no! One of the LP2 stalled at the track. Thankfully, he was able to get the car refired as soon as possible. The number 04 CrowdStrike LMP2 spun out earlier in the race, but they've also clawed their way back to third. Nasr and Whitman engage in the battle for the lead again. Whitman makes his pit stop. Nasr is back in the lead. Uh-oh. Jay Taylor has a gearbox issue. Estre is next to come down to pit road alongside Pino in the number 85 Porsche 963. Nasr decided to come down to pit road. Vanderlyn is now in the lead. Scotty Mac's Corvette also starts leaking transmission fluid. Dang it! Yeah, I thought it was Shane Van Gisbergen racing, but no, it's the other driver in V8 supercars, Scotty Mac. He should be in a Ford. He should be in one of the Ford Mustangs, not a Chevy. Shane Van Gisbergen makes more sense for General Motors, but in my opinion, Scott McLaughlin should be inside a Ford Mustang GTD. There's probably some relationship with him and General Motors because of IndyCar and Penske has Chevy engines, but still. I want to see Scotty Mac in a Ford Mustang GTD. That's the one car I want to see him in. The two Porsches are neck and neck again, and they continue to go at it. Meanwhile, in the GTD Pro field, Guyven and Hesse battle for second. So far, not much is going on. With 2 hours and 55 minutes left on the clock, Vanderlyn and Anlauer battle for second. The two Porsche Penske 963s make another pit stop. And they're back 1-2. Oh no! One of the Mustangs starts smoking and another yellow flag just got thrown. As expected, we get our yellow flag pit stops, as usual. But anyways, the race restarts with Andlauer continuing to lead. Holy crapper! Chaos ensues in the GTP and GTD Pro fields. Bamber is in third. Prelau and Engel battle for fourth in the GTD Pro field. Oh no, one of the Orica LMP2s got black flagged for mechanical issues. Oh my goodness gracious. Ricky Taylor's car starts catching fire. Man, things are looking terrible for Wayne Taylor Racing. And Ricky Taylor is out of the race. Dang it! Once again, not much is going on aside from the number 96 Turner Motorsports BMW making a pit stop. And Lauer makes another pit stop, and next to join in is the number 04 CrowdStrike LMP2. A lap later, 3 LMP2 drivers make their pit stops. A few GTP drivers, including Andlauer and Bamber, make their pit stops. Aitken and Blomqvist battle for third. And contact ensues. Holy crapper, this just got exciting. Vanfour and Aitken battle for second. Meanwhile, in the GTD Pro field, Fim and Drude battle for the lead. In GTD Pro, Printing and Engel battle for second. Tim also got noted by race control for an incident with Drude. Ah crap, not another engine issue for the Valkyrie. Engel managed to get past Caldarelli for the GTD Pro field. Rexy got some damage done by contact from one of the Ferraris, and Robbie Foley also got involved. Both Astons in the GTD class make their pit stops. Vanfour makes his final pit stop of this year's 24 Hours of Daytona. A few more GTP drivers, including Aitken, also make their pit stops. Nasr and Vanfour are next to make their pit stops. Yeah, there's 2 Vanfours, by the way. Nasr and Aitken battle for the lead as they have to deal with lap traffic. With 30 minutes to go, Nasr continues to lead. Here we go again. Aitken gets closer to Nasr. Yes! He's gonna do it. He's gonna pass it. And Nasr blocks a passing attempt from Aitken. Oh, come on. You had it to Aitken. You had it. You should have won for Connor Zillisch, but it was Porsche Penske that had to win. They wanted to win again. Sheesh. I mean, this kind of stuff is usually allowed in stock car racing, but it's pretty dirty in endurance car racing. Like, did you see what Nasr just did? He slammed the freaking door on Aitken. Blocked him. He did a pro gamer move right there. That is sneaky. Tim and Ellis continue to go at it for the GTD lead. Contact ensues with Tim and Ellis. Both Ellis and Tim continue to go at it. On the final lap, Aitken still isn't able to get past Nasr. Had it not been for that blocking attempt, Aitken might have won. Even with his best efforts, Aitken still wasn't able to take the win from Nasr. Dang, I still wanted Aitken to win. It still gets a 9 out of 10 for the epic GTD battle, although it was still disappointing that Aitken didn't win for Zillisch. Yeah, I really wanted Aitken to win for Connor Zillisch and get that overall class victory. But anyways, next up is the clash at Bowman Grey Stadium, the NASCAR clash. Probably one of the biggest and most exciting events aside from whatever Royal Rumble is going on. Who will win this year? Well, tune in to find out. But for now, it's time to sign off. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, just in case I haven't already done so. Catch you guys next time, and peace out.